Egyptian art was created from a very different mindset than our contemporary views, with their largely left-brain bias. It was created from the inner eye, from the wisdom of the heart. What we perceive with our senses is just a fraction of a far greater and more vital reality that lies beneath the surface, with our sensory perception acting like a veil. So to go deeper, that veil needs to be removed. This concept lies behind all Egyptian art, and through the use of symbolism, everything you can see is not to be taken at face value, but as a finger pointing to a higher, hidden truth. Indeed, each object they depict holds its own unique inner significance, which is the very essence of that particular form. Now, words often overcomplicate things, so they wrote in pictures. This hieroglyph's an example. The bee is an extraordinary creation, and here I'll mention just 3 of its properties. First, it's a symbol of the master alchemist, as it takes dust, the pollen from flowers, and transforms it into liquid gold, honey, which is a source of nourishment and healing for mankind. Second, it also produces wax, which it forms into perfect hexagonal tubes for storing both the honey and their larvae. Although not used by the ancients, wax can also be made into candles, which are a simple mobile light source. Once I showed a picture of the 6-step pyramid in Saqqara to my mother, who immediately said, "Oh, it's a beehive," the place where alchemical gold is stored and the infant in gestation is incubated, one of the alchemical properties of the pyramids. And thirdly, the bee does not live alone, but rather belongs to a closely knit community which forms a highly structured royal hierarchy, with a queen as royal principal at the top. This was exactly the structure of the ancient Egyptian society, governed by the royal principal and functioning in perfect harmony. Thus, the ancient sages chose the bee as a symbol for the king. From this example, we can begin to see the layers of wisdom and profound intelligence in the choice of even the smallest item in part of a text. This wisdom is symbolized by the moon, which represents divine wisdom related to the knowledge of nature. Thus, Jehuti, or Thoth, the netter for wisdom, the creator of the alphabet and all things carved and written, has the moon as one of his symbols. The moon corresponds to the right side of the brain, to intuitive knowledge and inner vision. Here's an image from the Seti temple in Abydos, showing the king offering incense to Sokar. And here's another image from René Magritte, teaching us to see things differently. Of course it's not a pipe. It's oil paint applied to canvas in a way that resembles the form of a pipe. But the juxtaposition of the image and the words momentarily stops rational mind and our lazy habitual way of seeing things, which allows us to move towards a more spiritual vision. It helps us to discriminate between what the mind thinks it sees and what is actually before our eyes. To take it a step further and try to understand just what this image is trying to convey requires leaving the mind behind and opening the inner eye, the eye of the heart. Now we can return to the offering scene and try to see it differently. This is not a man with a hawk on his head. There is no man and there is no hawk. If we try to approach Egyptian art, indeed any sacred art in this way, we will get nowhere. It has to be approached through the wisdom of the heart. It has to be seen through the eye of the heart. Every single detail in this image is highly symbolic and loaded with spiritual significance. Its message is calling out to you, but to hear it, your ears must also be open. The 7 openings in the head are 7 doors, each of which was ingeniously designed to receive different impressions from the outside material world, the sensual world. All serious observation of life begins with the study of nature. There is so much to learn there. Yet beyond the range of the senses, the human body is further equipped with more subtle organs of perception that need to be reawakened before the wisdom of the heart can be engaged. When a door is closed, nothing can enter. So by closing the 7 portals of the head to shut out the sensual world, the riches of our interior world can begin to open up for us. Such is our sleeping state, but it can also be achieved through ritual, and the Egyptians were foremost in creating rituals. The difference between knowledge and wisdom is like the difference between an encyclopedia and King Solomon. Knowledge records information, but wisdom is the ability to apply it in the right way at the right time. The Netta Nephthys represents the wisdom of the heart, and she can unlock the inner doors that lead to the secret inner heart, from where a vast new perspective begins to unfold on never-ending horizons.